you, Your Holiness, frequently come back to, which is the problem of the relation between the mind and the brain. And most neuroscientists, the vast majority, dismiss it. What I try to do with my students is to encourage them to have some humility about this question and to simply appreciate the fact that I believe that neuroscience has not made any real progress on that question in the last 100 years.
Now, I want to say a few words. Very purpose of this is a meeting with scientists. I always say two things. Number one, our knowledge. It seems now to me, over a few decades of experience, the ancient Indian knowledge about mind. So obviously, Indian tradition, the practice of shamatha, practice of vipassana, so single-pointed mind or analytical meditation. So these are transforming or method to transform our mind. So over 3,000 years, this is that tradition there. So naturally, more knowledge about mind, about emotion. Then, in the physical world, some are sort of traditional sort of belief, world flat, and the center Mount Meru, and the sun and the moon go like that. And almost according to Bosubanta's sort of text, they almost same size and same level. Now these, I think, sometimes I jokingly say telling, I think some of you may have heard, the Bosuband, when he wrote Abhitamako Shakarika, naturally his age quite old, so his eyesight not very good. So he look, when cloudy day, looks sun size. Then he felt size of moon and sun almost
almost similar. Yeah.
And same distance. Now these things, when we learn from sort of, say, scientific knowledge, then world is round. It's very true. Me personally also, from India to Europe, Europe to America, then Hawaii, then Japan, I never saw Mount Meru. And you cannot say, oh, Mount Meru is something special we can't see. That also difficult.
So in the text that proposes this kind of cosmology with this mountain in the middle, already speaks about how human beings on planet Earth experiences the shadow, falling of the shadow when the sun rotates. So if we are experiencing the shadow, and if the source of that shadow is invisible, that just doesn't make any sense.
So now, I publicly mention no longer sort of, I said, believe the Mount Meru and flat world like that. So it shows now we should learn the scientific sort of finding. And meantime, scientific finding alone not sufficient when terms in the subject of our emotion, how to tackle this. The scientist, I think, still beginning to, to look that field. Whereas in this country, over 3,000 years. So now it is useful to combine these two things. So, and me personally, since from my childhood, I have some interest about machines, how to moving, and electricity, how to produce electricity, like that. So that brings interest about science. And after 59, come to India, I had the opportunity meeting with, I think, genuine scientists, more open-minded. Wonderful. I'm saying this because 79, my first visit to Moscow, then still Soviet Union, because I have some interest about sort of discussion with scientists. So I request the concerned people, I want to meet some scientists. Then 4 or 5 scientists come. And when we start discussion about mind, sensorial consciousness, and then mental consciousness, we call 6th. As soon as I use the 6th mind, they reject. Now that's a religious matter. So, therefore, I'm telling you, you see, the Western scientists more open-minded. Very good. So then I really learned many useful things. Cosmology, then neurobiology, then physics, particularly quantum physics. Now I invited my Russian, English, because of the Indian
physicist. Yeah.
Yes, we met him last night. We met him last night.
So wonderful. So actually, I have some keen interest about quantum physics. I learned from David Bohm, late David Bohm, and then von Weizsäcker. Wonderful, wonderful. So then now, you see, our meeting, since our first meeting, 2 purposes. 1, expand our knowledge, external things, internal things. Now, the second purpose, whether, you see, we may call century by century, further develop more civilization. I doubt. Technology, mission, these fields, yes. Decade by decade, much towards the development.
No.
But human emotion is concerned. Now, this very moment, we enjoy peace. And comfort, joyfulness. Same planet, same human being. This very moment, I think how many people killing in Syria, Yemen, and some African state. We same human being. Due to some leaders, their own interest, they don't care. Thousands of human beings' life, including children. That's today's world. We cannot ignore these things. We are part of humanity. So some human beings suffer there. We cannot ignore. We have to think. We cannot solve this problem immediately, but time passes. So this moment, now the later part of 20th century, and now beginning of 21st century, I think the century goes like that. So if we think seriously, make effort now, I think later part of 21st century can be a little better. So these days, I really feel, in spite many sort of material development, life become more easy, comfortable. But there's suffering. But there's a lot of suffering because of emotion. We are facing some kind of crisis of emotion. So if you can remove this emotion through surgery, then I will relax. That's the...
We can't relax.
So therefore, now it is obviously now shows a sense of concern of others' well-being as a human brothers, sisters. So therefore, now that means compassion, sense of concern of their well-being. And so in any way, so therefore, now we need sense of compassion, sense of concern of others' well-being, and on the basis, sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. And secondly, we are a social animal. We are same community. In past, when we say community, just their own circle, their own area. Now today, the 21st century, because of global warming and global economy, now east, west, south, north, everyone interconnected, interdependent. So now, our sort of human community, we have to think entire, also the 7 billion human beings. So now, the method to promote human warm-heartedness or compassion. Religious teaching, over 2,000, 3,000 years, this teaching carry, but not much effect. Sometimes you see religious people, you see the religion itself create more division and killing. Syria, Sunni and Shia, and in Egypt, because of Christian and Muslim. In Burma, Muslim and Buddhist. Last few days, I think in Sri Lanka also some problems. Mm-hmm. So now, the time come. We have to also we have to create, use common sense, and as you mentioned, basic human nature is more compassionate. One occasion, some of our meeting with scientists, they say basic human nature is more compassionate. When I heard that, oh, now there's hope. If human nature is more anger, then no hope. Since basic human nature is more compassionate, and then our experience also, more compassionate mind there, self-confidence develop. You see, that carry transparent, that reduce fear. Whenever I meet people, even beggar or sweeper, I always consider we are same. I smile. Teasing. If they are not respond, smile, then I do this.
I'm ticklish.
So then immediately You see, we become human being. Oh, too much formality. No, religiously or some socialist way. Too much formality. I don't like it. So the basic human, so according to our daily experience, if you remain suspicion, distrust, you'll never be a happy person. Open. Because of the extend your love towards them, we immediately become friend. Then you feel happy. The whole surround warm. Too much formality. Remain a little bit distance. You won't be happy person. So that is our use common sense. So now, since religion, firstly, I think 7 billion human beings, according to some article I noticed, out of 7 billion, 1 billion non-believer. These also human beings. So our work try to promote compassion, including these non-believer. So therefore, now secular way, not talking about next life, not talking about God, but how to be day-to-day life more peace, joyful, and more smiles. Okay. So now, scientific sort of, scientific way explain warm-heartedness is your own personal sort of physical health, very important. And through that way, your face always remain more smile. Otherwise, you see, you see beautiful lady, she looks beautiful, but angry face never looks beautiful. So smiling, expression, smile also, you see, I usually used to telling, diplomatic smile, sarcastic smile, a genuine smile. So genuine smile brings because of closeness. Diplomatic smile, more distance. Isn't it? A sarcastic smile, develop anger. So in any way, now time come, we have to think about humanity, not my nation or that nation. I really feel now outdated, too much emphasis my nation, their nation, or my religion, their religion. Now environment, I think, really indicates us, you 7 billion human beings should live as one small community. Environment is never make because of differences or on the basis of different continent or different country or different religion. So now, I think global warming, I think decade by decade increasing. When I come through, over Afghanistan, we can see many dead lakes empty. Now, many parts of the world, in Africa, or I think many parts of the world, reduce water. These are very serious. Then South Pole, North Pole, these ice quite rapidly now melting. So nature disaster will increase. Environmental problem really now important because of the serious. So now, talking my nation or my faith, I think very small, not worthy talk. So therefore, one of our responsibility is to educate through scientific way. Not like me, teaching, not that way, but through education on the basis of scientific finding. That's the only hope. So one purpose of our meeting right from the beginning is how to cultivate, how to educate on the basis of scientific finding. We can, children say God, oh, I think too young, maybe, oh, God. They're a little growing. Where is God? Oh, where is Buddha? Difficult. Now we have to sort of cultivate, you see, these inner value through scientific way, the secular way of education. So that's, I feel, one of our main purpose of our meeting. I think I must sort of say, last so many years, number of scientists, and late Verala, now no longer, but he made tremendous contribution. And the wife,
Amy.
Amy is here, yeah.
Yes.
And Gabe.
Yes. So thank you. So this also, now this reminds me, world remain, I think, another few thousand years. So the
Abhidhamma text that His Holiness was talking about, which is the source of the Buddhist cosmology idea, also speaks about the end of the universe, end of the world, and it talks about different ways in which such destruction would occur, one of which is through heat and fire. So His Holiness was saying that maybe there is something there.
Global warming, that's the beginning. Go like that. So, at least, you see, the next few thousand, I think human beings remain on this planet. Now, our generation who witnessed past century, too much violence. At the beginning of the 21st century, too much violence. Now it is our responsibility to show next generation. We have to pay more attention about our inner value. We have to live side by side. Some other things are minor, I feel. So then personally, as the Verala, now no longer, and Bob Livingston, also no
Robert
longer.
Livingston, yeah. Bob Livingston.
Then myself, now nearly 83 years, not much time left. Perhaps next few years, I can be active. Then we'll go. If there is heaven, I may go heaven. If not, I will reborn on this planet and try to make as much as I can make some contribution for inner peace. Till the space remain. That's my daily prayer. So long space remain, so long sentient beings suffering remain. I will remain. Try to make little contribution for peace of mind. So in any way, it is our generation's responsibility. We witness some lacking. So because of past centuries, the event, too much war. Because of war, because of violence, spent a lot of money for weapon, including nuclear weapon. So people still now, today, whenever they find some problem, they are immediately thinking how to solve by force. Like Iraq crisis. I know President Bush, his motivation is very good, but method is wrong. So that we witness now. So unfortunately, beginning of this 21st century, I think still the way of thinking about the past century, thinking use force. So spend a lot of money for weapon. This must change now. This is very much related with my nation, or political boundary and religious boundary. Like that. So, sorry, too much.
So
I want to say proudly, me, half Buddhist monk, half scientist.
So, Your Holiness, I'd like to just show a few more slides and carry on with some of the themes that you have inspired us to consider.